Casual here. Devastators don't have a round-based skill, so they need something else that allows their firepower builds to hit like a truck. Well, he's over 700,000 firepower, massive survivability, and the best AoE damage in the game. Truck-like enough for you? Let's get into it. The Devastator is the only class that can increase its health regeneration through its class tree and also through mods, and then leverage this through the cycle and Vim and Vigor to buff its weapon damage by over 90%. It also has the highest weapon damage buff through statue gear set, with its 100% buff when Golem or Tremor is active, and with Golem of Death and Perseverance, that will be as long as there are enemies to kill. With this build, my base firepower is buffed to 295,000 through weapon damage, close range damage, Assault Adept and Assault Master nodes in my class tree. When I activate Tremor, this is buffed to nearly 600,000 and to more than 700,000 when enemies are close through Stare into the Barrel. With so much additional health regeneration, this is the perfect build to use Fatal Symbiont and Dark Sacrifice, as you get all of the benefits of the additional weapon damage, while the negative, the health drain, is neutralized. This gun also synergizes well with a close range damage build, which this absolutely is, with 105% close range weapon damage buff, 25% of which comes from personal space. Ideally, it would be great to stack close range damage on every piece of your armor, but with the statue gear set that is not possible. I am running the head, gloves and feet of the set, the last two coming with close range damage and cooldown reduction, which are the two stats you should be focusing on after bonus firepower. Skill life leech on the head is not awful, but not really needed given all of the health regeneration you already have. One challenge with Fatal Symbiont is that it runs out of ammo very quickly. To counteract this, I'm using Bleeding Impulse to apply bleed when Golem is active, which is nearly all of the time, and Vampiric Mag, which is the best ammo replenishment mod in the game. This also allows me to buff damage to enemies with bleed through Tainted Blood and Bloody Boost. You could run Captain Hunter and sell a Bloody Boost with this build, but I found that with the way damage is applied and with the no Bounty Hunter, this really wasn't needed. The second mod on Fatal Symbiont is Ultimate Damage Ling, a mod that only rises to its full potential with the Devastator in a build like this. What you will find is that the damage shared with other enemies by this mod is higher than the damage that you are doing to the enemy that you are shooting. The tooltip doesn't say why this happens, but I think that what we are seeing here is that the shared damage is bypassing armor, while the direct damage only benefits from the 40% armor piercing I'm running on this build. When you are fighting elites, the best strategy is to train enemies to them so that your Stare into the Barrel buff is maximized, and then shoot all of the enemies other than the elites. Pop your Moaning Wind Radiation Splash nuke and you'll find that elites are melted by this strategy, even Broodmothers with their excessive armor and resistance. I also use Endless Mass on elites to pull enemies to them, as well as applying bleed if it is not already up. This also provides more survivability, as Into the Fray buffs my damage mitigation by 15%. This gives me 95% damage mitigation from elites through Golem, Into the Fray and Bounty Hunter, making it easy to face tank anything. Tremor also buffs your armor and health regeneration for Human Fortress. I typically use Tremor and Endless Mass once Golem goes on to cooldown, with high health of 39,000, physical damage reduction of 73% when Tremor is active, and health regenerating at 2,500 per second. Staying alive is rarely an issue. If you mainly play multiplayer, there are a couple of other mods you should think about using from the statue gear set. Power of Stones buffs your team's weapon damage by 40% for 8 seconds when you trigger Tremor, while Golem Squad increases the duration of Golem and shares Golem with them for 25% of its normal duration. Given that Golem should be up for almost the entire fight, I don't think that the latter is the most optimal. However, Power Stones provides great burst damage for boss fights when used at the right time and when running with other firepower builds. This build excels anywhere that there are groups of enemies. While the damage to the enemy you are shooting does not look anything to write home about, the damage you are doing to entire groups does. This build clears expeditions in top tier times and is definitely worth a try if you're looking for something different from the typical Seismic Commander build. Until next time, casual out.